Hey, it's Thursday, time for another action figure adventures video here on SEO Toy Review. I know, Thursday, right? Well, we're trying something new. I'm going to be trying to do Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday videos here on the channel, so Action Figure Adventures is moving to Thursday. Today we're taking a look at the Arctic Attack Soldier Blizzard. Blizzard is the 12th figure from figure subscription service number 8. Pause it here to read his bio. Here we've got Blizzard out of the package. Like most of the figure subscription service figures, Blizzard is a modern version of a vintage figure, updated with new articulation, newer accessories. The club has to reuse a lot of parts, so sometimes they're not the most accurate updates. This figure looks pretty decent. My biggest complaint right off the bat is the fact that his helmet is non-removable. I really think all G.I. Joe characters should have removable helmets. Cobras, I'm okay with the helmets being permanently on them, but the Joes, the helmet's got to come off. So Blizzard has a white helmet with a blue visor. He's got a white parka on and white snow pants. Generally, he looks like the character. This hood maybe is the one detail that doesn't really match up, and the helmet's not an exact match to his vintage one, but it's not terrible. He's got articulation at the head, which moves around really nicely. His chin can hit the hood of the parka, but it really doesn't hinder articulation much. He's got great rotation at the shoulders, and they move out to the side pretty well. He has articulation at the elbows in a swivel as well as a bend, but the shoulder pad does kind of get in the way a little bit there. That's kind of a shame. I guess there was no way of avoiding that. He has articulation at the wrist with a swivel there that does not seem to have any sort of rockers or hinges inside the elbows. The canteen on the side of his parka also kind of gets in the way of his arms there. He can't really put his arms down to the side too well. And then, of course, the lower portion of the jacket also hinders his hip articulation some. So this is kind of the problem with the snow outfits with the modern figures. This is one of the things I don't like about the modern figures. The different web gear and things that they do look cool, you know, like in a static shot, but they often interfere with the maneuverability and the playability of the figures. He has a single jointed knee, it appears, which is unusual for these Joes. Most of the modern Joes have double jointed knees. He's got a swivel at the ankle as well as a rocker down there, so pretty decent articulation at the ankles. But this is not one of the most articulated modern style G.I. Joe figures out there. He comes with a stand with his name on it. He has a white rifle. This is longer than the Vintage Figures weapon. The Vintage Figures weapon, it was sort of a rifle, but it was much shorter barrel than this. But this works well for a triathlon type of guy, or a biathlon, you know, skiing and shooting. So it fits pretty well. He comes with a set of spiked cleats for walking on ice. This is very reminiscent of the Vintage Figure accessory. In fact, I think this might be a retool, because we've seen modern versions of these shoes before that looked different not too long ago, I think. But these ones look just like the ones that Blizzard came with originally. There they go, they peg on just like that. Blizzard also comes with this backpack that has tons of features. It's very hollow on the inside. I don't like that a whole lot with some of the modern backpacks. The old vintage ones always were a little better because they were solid. But this one does have a lot of nice features and even some paint apps on the bedroll here. But it has places to attach his ski poles as well as his skis. I didn't verify, but I'm pretty sure this backpack came with a previous release of Snow Job. There's also some additional points here where things could be attached and an antenna on this backpack. So there's probably other gear that you could peg on there if you had gear that came with the original release figure of this. Backpack pegs right onto Blizzard's back using a small peg. The hood does kind of interfere with that a little bit. It doesn't peg in real far, or maybe it's just the shape of the parka, and that's a little bit of a shame. And also, I found him to be very top heavy once you mounted up all his equipment on here. Kind of made it one to fall over. So Blizzard's not a perfect recreation of his vintage figure, although he does definitely have a good resemblance to that character. You know, his backpack doesn't have the bicycle handles to it, so it converts into like a sled or whatever the point of that vintage accessory was. The accessory differences don't bother me as much as the actual figure. Like I said, the helmet doesn't quite capture the look of Blizzard as well as it just bugs me that's not removable. But all in all, he's a decent figure. I really liked Blizzard as a kid. Really, really liked Blizzard. One of my favorite Arctic figures that I had, because he had so many great accessories. And this one does have a lot of great ones, but the execution is just a little bit off. Thanks for watching this Action Figure Adventures video. Do Baby Skeletor a favor, hit that like and subscribe button.